Welcome to another episode of the Red Devils Disciples. It's your boy Rob here, and we are doing a post-match review of Manchester United vs Liverpool. Game finished 2-2, and I feel frustrated. I know you're saying, Rob, how do you feel frustrated after a 2-2, which quite frankly, we should have lost that game. Liverpool were wasteful, but we showed some great determination to come back. But I tell you why I'm frustrated. It's not by today that I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated by the fact that we dropped 2 points against Brentford after we went 1-0 up. And even more frustrated by the fact that we couldn't go out against Brentford and give it as much as we gave it today. Because today we had players sliding around left, right and centre, fighting for every fucking ball that they could. I'm frustrated that we couldn't turn up against Brentford and play like we played against Chelsea. I'm frustrated that against Chelsea, yes, okay, 2 penalties that shouldn't have been given as penalties, yes, a goal that happened after the allotted time, yes, we should have still seen the fucking game off. 5 points dropped. I'm frustrated. We were 2-1 up today. Less than 10 minutes, and we cannot see the game off. Why can't we see the game out? What was that tackle to give away that penalty? So I am frustrated. Mixed emotions, but I am frustrated. Oh, I see somebody on the chat over here. Let me see if I can get the chat open. I don't know if this will work, whoever you are, mysterious chat person. But I will try and get the chat open for you. Give me a second. Oh. No. Fingers crossed. If the chat works, fantastic. If not, then I'm really sorry. You're just going to end up having to WhatsApp me. Let's see. Alright, so I got a chat open. Send another message. Whoever you are. Nah, man, I suck. It doesn't work. Sorry. I am so sorry, whoever that is. But I am frustrated. I am. A game that, quite frankly, we should have lost today ended up with a draw. But also, at the same time, it's one of those things where we've dropped 7 points. 7 points from the 80th minute onwards in the last 3 games. Those 7 points that would put us in striking distance of the top 4. Why? Why can't we see games out? And I hate to say it, I think it's once our bench starts coming on, performance starts to dip, and unfortunately that's the reality of the situation. But moving on. 2nd place Liverpool versus 6th place Man United. I'm not even going to compare the goal differences. I do apologise, couldn't do a preview this morning. I thought Liverpool were going to come out there for revenge today, bloodthirsty kind of thing, At the end of the day, we did stop Jurgen Klopp's quadruple, right? Well, we may have just stopped them winning the fucking league too. No, I think Liverpool will come back. Don't get me wrong. I do think they'll come back. But if they miss out by less than 2 points, how pissed would they be? Sorry, I got the Spurs game on in the background. Look, there's no doubt which team was the better of both teams. Okay, there's no doubt which team went out there and sort of dominated in the first half. Yeah, it looked like a fiery, feisty start. Both teams with some crunching tackles in there. The way it started, oh my god, I thought we were going to goal up within the first 3 minutes, and Garnacho was in, put the ball out. If you just held the run a little bit, all of a sudden you would have had a 1-0 lead against Liverpool, which would have been a great way to start for us. But it was just offside. I think more than held the run, Bruno delayed the pass slightly, and he just let it go that split second earlier. We would have been in. Start off with very high intensity from both teams. Man United chasing things down and not sitting back and not letting Liverpool pass the ball in the first 10 minutes or so. But Liverpool was still getting chances, and that's the bottom line. Stone Cold. No, sorry, WrestleMania season. I'm excited by wrestling, so I've got that fresh in my head. Diaz with a goal in the 23rd minute. I would say He was left alone. Oh, before that, can we just touch on Onana's save where Szoboszlai got in, curved it to go into, I would say, to his left hand side, and looked like it was going to go into the top corner, and the guy just stuck his hand out, and great save, great save. Props there, Onana. Props there. Looking at the goal that Diaz scored, the miscommunication, you can see that Mainu hadn't picked up, but Mainu had his role within the team, so he's obviously being told to double team Virgil van Dijk. But it also meant that he was left alone when there was a flick on by Nunez, wasn't it? And nice little volley. To be fair, I actually think Onana should have saved that. I do. I think David De Gea last year saves that, no problem. I do. I genuinely believe that. David De Gea, 2 hands, saves that, no problems, no issues. But for some reason, the simple ones that go around Onana's hands, they either deflect off his hand and go in, or something like that. And it's not like Onana had a bad game, but he should have done better at that first goal, And then from there was only one team looking like they were trying to score a goal in that half, shall we say. Liverpool had 15 shots on target. 15 shots, sorry, not on target. 0 shots for Manchester United in the first half. But at 1-0 at the half, you just felt that there was something there that could be happening, and something that if Liverpool didn't capitalise on it and take advantage of it early in the second half, this is Old Trafford, got that little spark, we needed 5 minutes and we scored 2 goals just like that. It didn't quite happen within 5 minutes. It took a span of 20 minutes, but the second half kicked off. A poor pass which was intercepted by Bruno, and on the first time shot just beyond the halfway line. What a goal. What a goal by Bruno. I think more than the goal was his anticipation of the pass going astray and seeing what positions the Liverpool defenders and goalkeeper were seeing the keeper so far off the line. He knew already what he was doing way before he got to that. And then we came close to second. And we were pushing on them, but just like that, we were reminded on the counter-attack, that Liverpool can hit and can hit fast. And if you're not careful with Liverpool, it'll be a 1-2, and all of a sudden you find yourself 2 or 3 goals down. But we had a few good chances. I'm thinking specifically of the Bruno half turn that he had, where he just sort of went to volley the ball and he just missed the ball. I think if he connects with that, it stands a good chance of going into the back of the net. And then what a goal by Mainu on the 68th minute. What more can we say? Reminded me a little bit of, if you remember, Federico Maqueda against Aston Villa. We had that little sort of heel flick turn and sort of thing. Mainu had a similar thing where he just tapped it to one side, slotted it over the keeper into the top corner on the left hand side, or more or less top corner, just slightly below. But what a goal. Not many keepers in the world that would have saved that from that angle. But Liverpool kept coming. And I knew the second we started making substitutions, we were in trouble. And this is the problem. It's not that the subs come in and they don't try or don't work hard. The subs come in and the quality of our defence drops. That is the issue. The quality of our counter-attack drops. That is the issue. You sub out Garnacho, there is no pace on the counter-attack. And I include Rashford in that, because Rashford, although he was subbed off before Garnacho today, but Rashford, he's great at running if there's nobody in front of him. If anyone's in front of him, he's not taking players on. Garnacho's the one that takes players on. So it's frustrating, but that happened. But it was one of those situations where, I kind of want you to leave Garnacho out there. And I get it. He's young. I get it. You're trying to protect him. I get you think that he cannot defend. But the guy's busting his socks off. Defending. Like, why the fuck would you sub him off? He's the only danger we have of going the other way. That kid in 2 seconds gets us another goal and kills the game off. But the cake kept happening, and you could see down our left wing that as soon as Garnacho went off, we were a little bit more vulnerable down that wing. You saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka's, from about the 60th minute onwards, you saw fitness starting to drop. So much so that he gave away a penalty in the 82nd minute. Where there was no reason to make that tackle. We were in no danger in terms of getting a shot off at goal. So I'm not sure what Aaron Wan-Bissaka was thinking there, other than possibly tired legs, tired mind, and took the player out instead of, took the player out rather than just, get the ball like, he's normally so reliable. But unfortunately, this time, he gave a penalty away and cost us 2 points with that decision. And Salah wasn't going to miss, Ironic, isn't it? The 2 penalties against Chelsea, slotted to Onana's left. Salah the left-footed player, which goes the opposite direction. Onana dived the wrong way all 3 times. But yeah. So yeah, in terms of that, ended up 2-2. We just have to find a way to, when we do take the lead, and we've worked so fucking hard to get the lead, kill the game off. Or shut up shop. Do what Chelsea used to do years ago, They used to play park the fucking bus, didn't they? They won the fucking league that way. But 7 points in 3 games. Those 7 points, let me just have a look. But I'm pretty sure those 7 points put us within striking distance. Can't be more than 5 points away from the other teams in the race for the top 4, right? Right, so what we got here. If we had those 7 points, we'd be sitting 1 point behind Spurs. Spurs would have had a game in hand. Fair. But we'd be 1 point behind Spurs, 4 points behind Villa, and we would have had a game in hand against Villa. So essentially 4 points behind them both if Spurs win today. Guys, we've got to find a way to do that. Starting lineup. Okay. Stay pretty similar to last time, other than the fact that Varane and Evans were injured, so Willy Kwambala came in. Anthony got dropped, which I was a bit surprised by because Anthony played such a good game against Chelsea. Even though we didn't win, I thought he was one of the highlights of the game. And Rashford started, which surprised me a little bit, although Rashford did come in with a bit of fire at the start of the game today. The rest of the team was pretty predictable, in my opinion. I thought, it was one of those where you were going to see that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka again playing down on the left back and Diego Dalot at right back. Those two keep flipping and flopping which positions they play, but I'm assuming Aaron Wan-Bissaka was on the left because Mo Salah was there, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a better one-on-one defender than Dalot, which I completely understand. I'm going to talk about the ratings and individual players. So we'll start off with Onana. Onana. What a save. Oh, Nana, you forgot to save. Yeah, Jesus, what a save against Szoboszlai. That should have been a goal. But then the Diaz shot kind of like... it kind of rolls past his hand. And look, I understand that the ball's moving at speeds much faster than you realise. I get that. But David De Gea would have saved those. And that is my problem. David De Gea would have stopped those shots. I'm just saying it. We fucked up. Onana had a decent game, but we fucked up. We should have never let De Gea go. Anyways, moving on to Diego Dalot. Decent. Did he impact the game greatly? No. He got forward a bit. Got back well. He had one key intervention. Maybe 6 is a bit harsh. Maybe it should be a 6.5. But had a good intervention where he stopped a 2-on-1 counter attack. Which was key, which would have probably ended up in a goal. So he had a few of those. So props to Diego Dalot. Had a decent game. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I've gone with a 5.5. Started well. Good first half. Second half, from about the 60th minute onwards, maybe 65th minute onwards, he just looked tired. He wasn't getting back into position. Players were easily beating him down the left side, down the right side of Liverpool. And then that ludicrous challenge for the penalty. I don't know what he was thinking. But I imagine it was a tired mind, tired body reacting late. Which... I get why we couldn't sub him off. I do. But he looked laggy out there, Centre back, I've given Maguire 6.5. Solid game. Won his battles, I thought did pretty well. Some key tackles. Some good blocks. I thought Maguire played pretty well. I thought he did decently, but I also saw some of the young players looking at Maguire for direction and him sort of shouting and pointing, but not really giving them direction. And I want to see a player of that experience and that ilk sort of giving the players like Manu in that direction and who they're marking, why they're marking them, that kind of stuff, Leaders. I mean, he was our captain last year and the year before and the year before. So at the end of the day, this is a guy who should be, equipped to be a leader within the team. And I want to see a bit more from that aspect from him. But in terms of his performance, can't fault him. I thought he did decently today. Alongside him, we had Willy Kwambala. And I've given this guy a 7. I thought Darwin Nunez will be found in Willy Kwambala's pocket today. He won pretty much every battle against them. Not just that. All game I saw him trying to get the crowd into the game. This kid should be playing a lot more than he's been given this year. I'm not going to lie to you. This kid should definitely be playing more games than what he's been given. And I hope that we give him a chance. Strong in tackles, great with the block. You saw him sort of fighting it out with players and he was quick too, like deceptively quick. I think he was fighting for his position on the team. Like, he wants to play, and I think just like Manu, just like Garnacho, I think this kid will get into the first team. Unless, obviously, we sign a load of players next year and destabilises all of that. But I see there's no reason why this kid can't get into the first team with us. No reason whatsoever. If we're getting rid of Varane, we're not renewing his contract. Evans is leaving. That's 2 down. Okay. Lindelof will probably sell off. Let's be honest. Maguire will probably sell off. That leaves us with Martinez, Kwambala. Who else is there? We want to sign at least 2 centre-backs, which suggests that we'll probably keep Lindelof and Maguire for the 1 more year. But there's no reason that this kid can't be fighting it out with those guys to sort of jump up the pecking order with them, over them, Midfield, we have Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo, I thought, had a mixed game. Tackle-wise, amazing. The guy's making tackles that nobody else on that pitch is making, except maybe Casemiro at times. Yeah, he almost reminds me of a younger Casemiro with his tackling. Always gets his foot into the right place. Great with blocks, great defensively, great on the dribble. Passing sometimes takes some risky passes in our half, and that can cost us. And it came close today once or twice to costing us. But I cannot fault the fact that he put his body on the line, But that Diaz goal, probably at that point, I know he had a different job to do, and you could see he was supposed to do something else. But that little bit of intelligence of, oh shit, there's a man by himself back there. Let me stick with that man, or let me tell somebody else, you go get that man if I'm going to go do my job. Rather than the tunnel vision of doing his job. I get it. He's a younger player on the team. I'm expecting things from him that I'd expect from the leaders, which, fair. But I would have loved to see that from him, because that Diaz goal should never have been allowed, let's be honest. But then again, 68th minute, what a goal. Come on, kid. Stand up and take a fucking bow. The touch. The fact that he's facing away from goal as he goes to take the shot and just curves it round the keeper. There's nothing the keeper could have done. That's not getting saved. That's not getting saved. As simple as that. I don't care what keeper you are not saving that. My birthday yesterday. Bring this from Dad. Somebody help my children. But I gave him a 7. I thought, he could have had a higher rating, but I think his passes let him down a little bit. And then alongside him we had Casemiro. I saw Casemiro leave his body on the line today. Some good tackles. Good defensively, solid defensively. That last tackle of the game was let me leave something in there for you kind of tackle. Because I think Diaz was looking dangerous, so Casemiro just kind of, took him out. But I still feel like I think unfortunately Casemiro's not going to get better with time. You saw players like Pirlo, Scholes, these guys get better with time. The role that Casemiro plays in the Premier League, you need to have legs to play it. That sort of cover and roll, that sort of, you need some legs. You don't need to be the fastest on the pitch. No, not at all. But you need some legs. And I think that, unfortunately, Casemiro is looking like his legs are starting to go. It wasn't as apparent today. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just been in some other games. But I think he's now reaching the stage where I would be having Casemiro almost in sort of a mentoring teacher role. I wouldn't get rid of him because he can still pull out a great performance for you when you need him. But I'd have him mentoring the younger players. That's what I would do. That's what I think he's there for now. Does he still make our starting lineup? Absolutely. Who's going to take him out? Can't see anyone taking him out. Mason Mount, maybe? Mason Mount looked great against Chelsea, looked great against Brentford. He was the one player that I thought came out looking a little bit better against both of them. But I don't think Erik ten Hag has that confidence in Mount, partly because of the injuries and how long he's been out, and he just wants him to sort of get some games under his belt. In front of them, they had Bruno, who I've given a 7.5 today. I thought he was more disciplined today. Scored a great goal. But the interception was more impressive than the goal, in my opinion. Because the goal was an open goal. And yes, it was from far away. But it's Bruno Fernandes. He's got that sort of aim and that kick on him. First time, obviously, was great. Keeper was diving to get it. Had he touched it, that's a red card straight away. He was outside the box. But I thought Bruno did well today. There was one thing that stands out in my mind where Garnacho had already come off and Rashford had already come off, so he was shifted to left wing, and he ended up at centre back intercepting a ball that was coming through to Salah, I believe. And right there, you could see that Bruno Fernandes is starting to understand that he needs to get back and save this team at times, and at the start of the season that wasn't happening, but now you're starting to see it. Ever since that Liverpool Cup game, you started to see it more and more. And those are the little things as fans that we appreciate, that he gives it his all. He looked dangerous today with the ball, spreading the ball well. It's a shame that he held that Garnacho one just a split second more than he did. Than he could have, should I say, because he would have put Garnacho right in. And all of a sudden we're talking about a very different game. Speaking of the devil, had a decent game. Not his best game, but he was in when the first few minutes, scored a goal. I felt like he was marked out well by Andy Robertson. But I also felt like he had the beating of Andy Robertson at times, and he put some good crosses in there. It's just we spent a lot of time defending today, and we weren't really able to give him the outlook that we would have liked to have given him. But he had a decent game still, so I've given him a 6.5. And then his opposite wing, left wing, Rashford, I've given a 5.5. Now, subbed off at the 60th. I think the reason it's a 5.5 and not higher is because I didn't really see him do much. I saw him in the first few minutes fight for the ball, tackle people down, like hunt. So I saw effort from him, which was good to see, but I kind of want to see him get the ball and take players on, and at the moment I feel like if there's someone in front of him, he won't try and dribble past them. He'll just stop and turn around to not lose the ball. I kind of want to see a bit more Garnacho in him. I want to see him dribble past a few players. Like Rashford, when he was young, he used to get the ball, go past players for fun. Now it seems like he's almost scared of dribbling past players. That's not what I want from him. I want him to take players on. I want him to... He used to excite us. Rashford got the ball, we all stood up from our seat, staring at the screen, or we were at Old Trafford, you'd be like, whoa, all of a sudden came to life. But at the moment, I don't feel that with Marcus. I feel like that with Alejandro. You know, and that's a shame for me to say, because this is supposed to be our guy, our top guy. Got a lot of love for Marcus Rashford, and I really hope he can do something special with us. I really hope he can turn it around. He for me is probably our best player in terms of as a football player in the attacking side. He can dribble, he can shoot with both feet, can take free kicks. He's even got a header or two at times. You know, he can pass the ball, he can cross. But he's just missing that spark. He's missing the things that made him Marcus Rashford last year. You know, he's missing the things that when he was 20, 21, he was just like, boom, that pace, that just... And I'm wondering whether he's slowing down a little bit due to injuries, you know, which, you know, happens to, especially to sprinters and athletes of that ilk, you know. Up front we had Rasmus Højlund. I've given him a 6. Didn't really get involved in the game. Once or twice he picked up the ball. It looked like he was going to take on players, and then Van Dijk came out and he sort of stopped. Don't stop. Take him on. You know, like, you're quicker than him. The worry with him is, you know, is his dribbling good enough to take players on? Just get in there, Forrest. Is his dribbling good enough to take players on and beat them on the dribble? And that's what, at the moment, we're not seeing from him, you know, which is cool. It is what it is. But I kind of want to see him try to improve on that, because he is quick. He's got a quick first step, and then he's got that lanky sort of body style, like the long body style. You know what I mean? But I think he struggles when he has to play back against the goal. So I'd love to see a little bit more from him. I thought he had a decent game. He makes runs, which, you know, means that opens up space for other players. He hunts them down from the top. So in theory, he's got all the attributes. It's just good to see it all come together. In terms of our subs, guys, we had Anthony for Rashford in the 62nd minute. Anthony had a decent game. Got a chance at the end to have his Ahmad chance, is what we're going to call it, to be the hero again. But he hit it straight at the keeper. Amrabat for Garnacho, which I feel was a mistake. Not because I don't think Amrabat shouldn't have come on. I just think taking off Garnacho was a mistake on the 80th minute. It took away our counter-attack, allowed Liverpool to push forward even further. With less threat on the counter, it meant that they weren't as fearful. So they pushed forward. So that's why I think it was a mistake. 4 minutes later, Mount for Mainu. And I thought Mount did well again today. I kind of like to see him start a game, to be honest with you. Who am I dropping? I'd like to see Mount and Mainu play together in that midfield. I'd probably drop Casemiro, just to see that combination. I don't think I didn't notice that 93rd minute tactical foul where Liverpool won the counter and he was just like, yeah, I'm just going to take you down. Not even going to bother. You're going down. So it was nice to see him in there. It's nice to see him playing. The last 2 games, I think he's earned sort of a little bit of faith from us as United fans. And I'd like to see a little bit more from him. Final score, 2-2. And my final thoughts are real simple. I'm frustrated because I feel like we should be in that mix for the top 4. But we've wasted so many points. In my head, we would have won that Brentford game. We would have won that Chelsea game. And in my head, I'm going to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have given us anything from this game. So imagine if we did see out the Brentford game 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Imagine if we did see out that Chelsea game 4 minutes. Imagine if we saw this game out last 10 minutes of the game. where we would be right now. But anyway, those are ifs, whats, and maybes, and never happened. So this is your boy Rob, and I'm signing out. I will be saying, weirdly, I don't know why, I'm a dreamer maybe, I still think we could get top 5. I do. Top 4 is out of the question in my opinion. But I can see Villa and Spurs dropping a lot of points from now to the end of the season. If we could wake up and go on a run and potentially win all our last games, similar to what we did post-World Cup, we stand a chance. But reality is, Europa League is where we're going to be at next year. 6th place, FA Cup final, hopefully, against Coventry. We can beat them. Let's not count them out and anything, because those guys are... They made it here, so they deserve the respect, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I also know this is a needs to an end. I also know the night is always darkest before the dawn. And boy, I feel something coming from Man United next year. It may take a couple of years, but I can feel it. There's something in the air right now. And for those of you that don't know, I am very much Ten Hag in. And I remain Ten Hag in. And I will continue to remain Ten Hag in, no matter what happens from now till the end of the season. Because there's bigger problems to resolve before we touch Eric Ten Hag. And that's what I'm going to say about that. So boy Rob, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so whenever I make a video you can watch my pretty face on this. Have a good weekend, guys. Peace.